What is up, guys? Welcome again. Let me adjust the sound a little bit before I start speaking to you. Alright, so I haven't done any videos lately and I felt like I'm missing my webcam and you guys, so I thought I'm gonna record just something just before the QuakeCon. As we know, QuakeCon is coming slowly but surely, and we will have a lot of people starting to grind the game. As you can already see probably in the title of this video, we're gonna speak about how to improve in duels and how to do it in a different way, because there is a couple of ways in improving. Like I got a lot of messages from you about coaching and helping you with the game, especially with duels. I never do that and I never done it before. I actually did some like in Quake lifetimes, but it wasn't really professional. But as you know, I'm sending people usually to other players who are doing it professionally, like Wenger, Raisy, Maestro guys in general. I think they are doing it on pro level. They just giving lessons and paid lessons, and you can buy yourself some sessions with them and a point. I know Sirius is also doing such stuff, but mainly for aiming purposes. Um, but I want to explain you how it was in the past. Um, and there is this little story which is super interesting for me. Mm, it was back in 2010 or like 2011, and that was the times where basically Rapha and cYpheR were dominating the scene in Quake Live. And they were winning tournaments back to back. Like one time Rapha won something major, then cYpheR was taking a major tournament. And I've decided to speak with them both. I was really good friends with both of them actually. And I spent a lot of time with cYpheR. We are traveling around the world together. We are driving to tournaments. We are flying to tournaments. We are boot camping together. So ask him like this very general question, because like Quake is very complex, right? So if you ask some Quake pro player like, listen, dude, how can I improve like playing 1v1, right? Everybody gonna give you different different tip. Like some people gonna tell you like, yeah, you need to master timing, right? You need to be really good with timing. You need to time to the very second, like it's like 38 and a quarter, like next mega. Like this is how Rapha is timing, for example. He also knows that if he took it 16 and a bit, he knows it's 16 and a half, not 16, right? Or 46 and a half in this case. But anyway, I told him like, give me like general answer, like what is your approach when you're going into duels? Like, what is your main thought about like the dueling? Like, what is your main thought in your head? And cYpheR told me, I'm I'm thinking how to play, and my main thought is like how not to lose. So he's going with the approach to the game, how not to lose the game. So it already tells you a lot about his mental state and like how he approaches the game. If he says that he's going into the game thinking how not to lose this game, it means that in majority of his decisions he will be very cautious, and he will be very like he will be not so risky. So that's what you've seen in his gameplay in Quake Live. He was the guy where you put him very low, like he's, let's say, 50 HP. He will not rush to you and feed and respawn and go for control. He will try to slowly restack, take HPs. Start from here, for example, in Quake Champions. Take this. Wait for green. Take green. Get his like full stack. Then he'll try to get LG. Then he will figure out where is opponent. If he knows opponent is somewhere on the rail, he will get his rocket. Now he has rocket, right? So he knows that the best is like to hit first like very strong rocket, like defensive rocket. This is opener for him, and then he starts from there. His main approach is how not to lose the game. And if you think about it, it's a very simple sentence, but it's so strong. If you go into the game thinking how not to lose, not how to win, not that he wants to win, he just doesn't want to lose. It's completely opposite. And with Rapha, it's like when I spoke with Rapha, it's like his main approach is like that he's going into the game and he wants to win the game. So it's also like super different, like approach to the game, because you know that he will be very pushy on items. He will be very heavy control player. He will try to choke you on the map, and like it's completely different approach. And as you can see, like everything can work in Quake, because both of them huge champions, right? Huge champions, and both of them were winning. And you have like many different approaches to the game. For example, if you take like Fatality, for him the most important was he didn't think about winning or losing the game, winning or losing the tournament. He just believed like with deep in his heart that if he's gonna invest enough time, so if he's gonna like go with his motto like practice, 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 so if he's gonna invest 8, 12 hours per day of pure dueling, he believed that this will give him the win and advantage. So that's also super strong, because you're going, because what practice also gives you is like this mental boost, because you prepared for QuakeCon, for example, and you already know that you spent so much time, you invested so much time in the game that it will pay off. So you know you got everything. Now you are prepared and everything's good. Same as you're going for a meeting and you have everything pointed out on the paper, and you know you are prepared. So you're not starting to talk and then you're forgetting what you want to say and stuff like this. And now it's about different approach, because now everybody practice the same way, basically like Rapha style. So everybody tries to schedule the game with other pro player and try to play it in a way like it's grand final. So you are like going full ham. You are going full with your skills. You're putting everything out there, and it's very good because it's also one of the approaches. You try to play in the exactly same environment as you're gonna play on tournament. So the best is if you're playing at 8 a.m. first game on tournament, the best is if you already 2-3 weeks before you start to wake up 6 a.m., eat your breakfast 6:30, taking a shower, then going there like 7:20 a.m., preparing, like warming up 20-30 minutes, warming up your like mechanical skills, and then you jump into the game straight away at 8 a.m. and you're playing your best, right? So this is the approach what everybody's taking right now. But in the past there was few little things which are super interesting, because for example, so I asked cYpheR, right? So you playing not to lose. What does it exactly mean, and how do you practice? You always like practicing your best? And he said, yeah, sometimes I'm playing my best, but sometimes I'm just doing task. So for example, his task in Quake Life was he was trying to play medium skill players, and he was trying to not lose more than 2 frags per map. If, for example, someone took more than 2 frags from him, it meant that he lost this game for him. And it teach him something, because okay, with medium skill player you can easily control whole map, like heavy, like, or red armor, mega health, whatever the game you play, whatever version of Quake you play, and it's kind of easy because the guy is like slower than you, he's thinking slower than you, he's hitting less, so it's easy to choke him on the map. But you need to understand, but this task teach him how to approach control to not lose too many frags, because if against certain players on top level you're gonna be pushy too much, they eventually gonna kill you and take control back. So it means that he was going with the approach to not lose more than 2 frags, so he couldn't like run them up endlessly. At some point he understood that, for example, here it's very high chance that he's gonna lose this frag. So he had to back off, he had to give heavy, right? He had to restack, he had to time this heavy, this mega, he had to like take different approach and try to make kill in different way to not lose the kill, right? There was many approaches like this. Or for example, so you setting yourself task is really good because you're focusing on one thing. Like for example, I really like how cYpheR was dealing chip damage on DM13, especially in Quake Live, because like many people were approaching like DM13 open spaces, trying to hit plasma or go like closer, hit LG or rail or rocket. cYpheR was super good at picking, doing literally 30 damage and like escaping, like going back, like changing routes, doing something else. Like Right now, cYpheR, if he was active, he will be super good at dealing damage with Tribal, doing 60, changing approach, doing something else. You watch him play and you know it's super good for you, but you never implement it in your game. Why? Because you are too busy with general stuff. People who are starting the game, they are on medium pro level, they focusing on general stuff, so timing, so like like winning actually the practice game. Winning practice game is not important as much in the beginning, and it won't get you that far. So if you do a task and one game you try to play with dealing cheap damage, so a lot of tribal, a lot of heavy machine gun, like here, and stuff like this, some spam rockets, and focusing on that, or even like cYpheR was super good with like even like doing some plasma here. If he deals 60-80 damage, it's like a railgun shot, It's like and he's super sneaky, and hard to deal damage on him. You got a lot of tasks. For example, if you're playing a practice game and you feel like your opponent is super weak, why don't you make yourself like handicap and let's say you do something like this. You just kill yourself, let him kill you. You let him take whole map. So you let him take mega health. You let him take like heavy. You just stay AFK for some time. And then you try, your task is to get whole control back. So you need mega health, heavy armor, and kill the guy without losing frag. So you're like 100 to 50, and from this point, you're trying to take both items, kill the guy, and not lose the frag. It's super important because at some point, like for example, the game is tight. It's 7 to 7. It's like 7th minute, and you know that you lost whole control. If now you're gonna start to fit and you give the guy 2-3 frags, and the time is already 8:30, it's basically GG because in this game you can run forever. So in this moment, you need to do what you practice and what was your task. You need to respawn with 100 HP, 50 armor. You need to take the first gun you got. You can't fit, and you need to take control back to be able to make frags and don't lose frags. So this is what you need. And there is like more tasks like this. Even if you watch Raisy, for example, sometimes he's streaming and his handicap is he's playing without abilities, so he's not using abilities. It's super good because it teaches you two things. First of all, mm, it teaches you how to play the game general, not based on abilities. But second of all, uh, it also teaches you how to save your ability because some people spamming their abilities. And for example, Rapha is super good and he's super like he takes care when he's using his ability. You will never see him using ability. Like even when we played 2v2 with Rapha, he was like, save your ability for like power up, save your ability for like jump into the heavy armor or whatever, right? So it's like he takes care of that. So this is what it teaches you. Sometimes you have people, for example, Sirius, right? He's extremely good with hit scans. So he's gonna be extremely good with LG. He's gonna be extremely good with like machine gun, heavy machine gun, like a nail gun, and like just hit scan guns. And then he's not as strong with railgun or with rocket. So with like rocket like a projectile, right? So what you can do if you got problem with one gun, for example, your main skill with mechanicals is hit scans. What you're doing, you're not using hit scans. You change to starting shotguns instead of starting machine gun. You're not even touching LG. You're just trying to play railgun and rocket, and it's not only gonna improve your game with those guns, it will also show you a different picture of the game because now your picture was like, for example, the M6, right? Let's load to that map, and I will tell you something. If you are a hit scan heavy player, and it's very visible in Quake Pro League matches. So for example, mm, Kilsen is super rail heavy, right? So his tendency on this map will be to have control over the top, right? Over the rail area, bridge, rocket. He will basically like stay on top, right? He will control you from here. Like he will hold you here. He will switch position there. Like he will be He will be mainly here. He will never drop down to the bottom because this is the moment where you're the most readable. If you got people who are super hit scan heavy, first thing they go in for LG, they already putting themselves in a kind of weird position because this jump pad you should actually never take in my opinion because people are waiting for this jump pad a lot. Even if they are on Mega, they usually kind of controlling this because if they know you are somewhere on bottom, they hear you from here, they know you are going from here, they just bait you to go for jump pad, right? So you cannot climb from bottom to the top that easy. So already you are putting yourself in a very bad position because you need to either take this jump pad or rocket jump pad, or you're going for TPS or the ramp to the heavy, which is kind of bad, right? So this is another task. This will open up the whole game for you because if you're not using LG, there is no point to go down. So you will try to get rail as fast as possible. You'll try to keep like longer distance, try to rail. You will think differently because now you are thinking to close range LG fight, right? Like this. Now no. Now you are following your opponent more. You know he took it, he went there or there. You're just cutting off the positions. You're just hearing him. You're just like cutting off the mega health and stuff like this. So like those little tasks are super important. And you can like figure out many of them. You can play without certain weapon. You can like play without abilities. You can try to give up control and try to get it back without losing frags. You can play with a handicap that you cannot lose more than 2 frags. You know, you can like you can for example play without without mega health. So it will like teach you how to control the other part of the map or like whatever like or using or dealing or playing. For example, you got statistics right after the match, and you realize that okay, I'm dealing a lot of damage and it's super good and I'm good aim wise, but I'm taking shit tons of damage because I'm not dodging properly, or maybe how cYpheR is called. One time I was like, we were trying to figure out some game in Quake Life, and I said, dude, I don't know why I lost this game. Like I played like properly, I did this and that, and he said like I rewatched your game and I think you were too open. You were playing too open. And I said like what do you mean too open? And he said you are just hitting super good and timing super good. But for example, let's say like this. You got guy there, right? You can play it still good and you can hit rail, but while you're reloading, you can like you know hide and then pick a bit from different side. Or you can just go like this. It's like, come at me, bro. And you're just like going ham, you're both hitting and shooting, and you are playing openly. Like, you could give up this mega, right? And try to deal damage after, or like drop down and hit rail here. And it's same. Instead of openly going it on it and like getting like damage from rocket or whatever, and maybe you kill the guy, maybe you not, or maybe you are super low. So you know there is a lot of different aspects, like little aspects, and if you think about them all and you try to implement them all at once in your game, it's gonna be super hard because you got in Jewel you got so many things to like you know to think about. Or like I remember I was thinking with ZenAku, and we are thinking and he was asking something about movement, how to improve movement and like shooting and like mechanical skills. And I told him that for few games he has to pay a little bit less attention to the control, to the like you know to the circling the map and setting up items, and just only focus on your movement to make it like very smooth, very beautiful. You know, back in the days when there was like demos, we were watching demos of other players and we were like fascinated because without reading the name of the guy who was playing, we could already tell that this is cooler playing, this is cYpheR playing, only by their like you know mouse movements, by their like moves. Like this is very unique for every player. That's why it's super beautiful, you know. So you need to focus on one thing at a time, and it doesn't mean you only practicing with tasks. Just play your like regular practice games, schedule your game, play like BO5 or BO7 or 2 BO3s and play on your max. But also play few games per day and focus on something. Try to figure out what is your weak side and try to focus on that actually. Uh, what else? As I was saying you before, you need to come prepared. I didn't come prepared to this video. I was thinking about so many things, and now it's like, okay, so some people have problems with timing, right? So they got problem with timing heavy, timing mega, and like they losing the timing, they forgetting the time because they are not focused enough. But what some people did in Quake Live or Quake 3, for example, you go to the warm up, you go alone to the map, and you try. You're not playing anyone, so it's easier for your brain. You try to run. You just play some cool music in the background. You chill out. You got your coffee. You go and your task is for 15 minutes. What I want to do is I want to time mega halt. I want to take time this green. I want to time this green and this heavy. So 4 items. If 4 items are too difficult for you, let's start with 3. Just time this, time mega, and time this green. And you run like this, and you time. And it's harder here because you need to deal damage, but still like, okay. So it's like 19, you know, you go for here. If you time like this for 10 minutes and it's going good and you're not like losing your time, it's gonna be much easier than you are playing because you don't have to focus on shooting, dodging, thinking where is opponent, respawning, like losing the track of items. Then you add another one, like this one, for another 10 minutes. And stop. Your brain cannot go for hours. Just repeat the same next day and next day and next day and go for 4, 5 items. Believe me, if after a week you're gonna go back to timing 2 items, even in normal game, it's gonna be completely different story. Like you can progress with this task forever. Like first day you're doing 3 items, second day you're doing 4 items, third day you're doing, for example, 5 items or 4 items, and you add in the bots. So you need to shoot a little bit. Somebody takes some items, so it's not as easy. So you need to like predict the timing. Then you do that with 4 items again and 5 items, and then you're doing 5 items without the bots. Then you're doing 5 items with bots. Then you're going back to 3 items, but you're playing like someone, and you don't care about winning completely. You only care about timing this. Then you're adding one item, and you're playing like the guy who is like weaker than you. And then if you're gonna go back to timing, like with on a pro level, 3 items won't be any single problem for you. It just the matter if you want to sacrifice yourself and if you legit want to improve, Uh, now, mm, there's also issues to fix like mentally, but it's completely different kind of subject. We're only talking about in-game stuff. So this is about timing. So you got different kind of tasks. Just use them as your tool to improve. So not only like blindlessly like practicing, this is also good, but you got many things you can improve on. Just like rewatch your game or have a pro rewatching your game and try to find your weak points and try to improve them by implementing tasks into your game. I think this is very easy way, but it's very forgotten by the players nowadays, by young players especially. We used to do that in the past, and I think it's super strong tool. So I gave you some examples how to do that. There is much more. I already don't remember exactly what we were doing, but those are the most important. Like your approach to the games, like you can play without items, you can play without certain item, without certain gun, with giving up control, you know, or even you're giving up frags. You're giving up frags. It's 8 minutes, and you got problem with comebacks. Just give the guy the lead, give him 3 frags lead, and at 8 minutes you got the mark. Okay, 8 minutes, I'm trying to get it back, I'm trying to come back, and you training comebacks, because let's say you got this problem that you are losing all the like comebacks, right? Because you are just like choking or whatever. Put yourself more in this situation, put yourself out there, and that's it, boys. I hope you like it. I hope it's something different. I hope you can gain something out of it. Remember to write everything down for yourself, like your improvements and your like tasks, so you know what you are going for. If you want to have more videos similar like this, just make sure to comment down below. I would appreciate you guys subscribing to our channel because it helps us to get bigger reach, and it helps us to continue to grow and to produce more of those videos. If you need any coaching sessions, we got pros who are taking care of it. I know like ZenAku having a lot of people and he's coaching a lot of people, other guys as well. Um, what I can give you also one tip, because I think Quake is super complex and sometimes it's about switching little things. But also like what I was thinking about coaching, like a lot of people coach in a way that they get a guy and they are booking session of 1 hour and they basically trying to fix their game, like so they take in general approach, timing, shooting, settings, sensitivity, and I think like this is good and it can give you like something out of it, but some people might be lost with it. So what I think, like what will if I will be coaching, what I will do it like it's done on the gym when you are hiring the professional like personal trainer. So you taking the long-term approach, so you're buying the membership but you're buying it for a month, and we got like sessions, like workout sessions, like 3 times per week, like 45 minutes per session. And we do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Before each session, I will kind of prepare myself to what we're gonna work on, and then we go like month by month. And by the month, you kind of can see the improvement. Because after one session, if you don't want to go for another one, it's kind of you might be losing something or might be forgetting something and stuff like this, and it's important to repeat something quick and repeat. And and when you're losing the dub, because you had a like training session, right, with a pro, let's say you are improved and you are playing better, but you had some break, you forget something, and then you're playing worse again, and you're like, shoot this, it didn't help me at all, right? You need to like constantly work and constantly improve. So I think like memberships, like monthly membership, and then we get workouts. If you're not showing up on the workout, it means you don't care enough, and it's like no point for me to lose my time on it, right? And try to improve with you. Anyway, that's what I will do if I would plan to like make some coaching. Maybe in the future I will try to do something like this, but I think it's huge responsibility, and I think it must be well prepared. Anyway, guys, like I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week and weekend. Make sure to watch our predictions this week because it's gonna come up on Friday. As always, 6 p.m. is gonna be on Wenger channel, and we're gonna predict all the matches. Super interesting game coming up. Wenger against Kilsen. I can't wait to share with the picks for that game with you guys. Have fun. Good luck. Take care.